Have you ever applied for Navy Federal but felt like you're missing out on one of the best credit unions out there? Well, today I'm going to share with you the next best thing, and for some, it might even be better than Navy Federal. What's up, winners? My name is Nam. If you're new here, welcome. Here we talk all things personal finance and credit. Make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. So the credit union that we will be diving deeper today is PenFed. I've actually made a video on their credit cards before, but now I want to create a new video that covers all of the other products as well. That way, you can get the most out of it. Just like Navy Federal, PenFed caters towards the military and government workers, but don't worry because you don't have to have any affiliation with them to join. And there are plenty of great reasons to join PenFed. They have products that don't require any documentation or income, no fees for cash advances, and you can even get a cash advance up to the credit limit of your credit card. They are really friendly with people with bad credit, fair credit, and even previous bankruptcies. And because they are a credit union, they really believe in relationship banking. So first off, let's talk about how you can get in with PenFed. So it's actually pretty easy. All you got to do is just provide your basic information and open up a savings account with a $5 deposit. And that's pretty much it. But there is something that you got to make note of is that there may be a possibility of you getting a hard pull from Equifax if you apply. There have been some reports of this happening, but when I joined a few years back, nothing has happened to me. And I think the majority of people who join won't have this issue, but it is something just to think about. Now, one thing that I must say about joining PenFed is that you gotta make sure that your information lines up. For instance, when I joined PenFed, my driver's license did not have my actual home address. So in that case, I would have to provide utilities or lease agreements within the past 30 days. But the thing is that my utilities are in my wife's name and they really couldn't identify who I was. So the only way that I can resolve this is by either having my name added onto the utilities or get a new driver's license. So that may be some of the troubles that you may run into in case if your address don't all align, but for most people, they should not have any trouble. Just like most banks and credit unions, they do offer plenty of products, from different checkings and savings accounts, CDs, IRAs, credit cards, and loans. So let's go over some of the highlights and the best ones to go for. All right, so let's start off with the checkings account. They got two main options, the free checkings and the Access America account. If you join either one, you also get access to the PenFed Honors Advantage program. What's cool about this program is that you can actually get 2% cash back on your PenFed Power Cash Rewards Visa card, but we'll talk about credit cards in a little bit. Now, from what I've seen is that most folks would probably just go for the free checkings. You only need $25 to open it, and there's no other fees involved. Plus, there's no minimum balance to worry about. Now, with the Access America checkings account, there is a $10 fee. However, you can avoid this by having a direct deposit of $500 or more or maintaining a daily balance of $500 or more. So here's the key difference. With this account, you can earn a little bit of extra interest, but it is nothing mind-blowing. With both accounts, they'll give you access to online banking and early pay with direct deposits. Plus, you get access to over 85,000 fee-free ATMs. Unlike Navy Federal and some other credit unions, they don't reimburse you for ATM fees. So if you use any ATM outside of their network, you won't get that money back. And those ATMs usually charge anywhere between $3 to $5 just to use them. That's one thing that I do like about Navy Fed is that you can use any ATM that you want and they will reimburse you $10 to $20 every single month. Now let's talk about their saving account options. They got 4 of them. To join, you can go for the regular savings or the premium online savings. Personally, I suggest going with the premium online savings since it is free and you earn a little bit more interest on your deposits compared to the regular savings. But hey, if you want to grow your money even more, they offer money market accounts. At the moment, you can earn up into the high 4s on those. I'm not a huge fan though because your money gets locked in for a certain amount of time. There are loads of other high yield savings accounts out there, such as Wealthfront. They offer rates in the high 4s as well, and they are FDIC insured too. But here's the thing, since this is a credit union, relationships matter. So having a mix of different types of accounts will strengthen your relationship with them, especially when it comes to landing loans. So before moving on, I would like to mention that if your credit score is not where you want it to be, I do have a software that can help you with credit repair for a fraction of the cost that you would pay an agency. It is called Credit Rehab Pro. It allows you to easily dispute as many accounts as you want across all 3 credit bureaus. In a matter of seconds, you can create dispute letters specific towards your situation and print them out at home. What's more is that if an account wasn't deleted, the software suggests a new strategy for additional disputes. You see, Credit Rehab Pro is not just another tool, it's like a personal credit coach that guides you through the entire step in the right order. And the best part, you have full control. You can repair your credit at your own pace and in your own time. I do have a link in the description if you want to check it out. Alright, so now let's move on to credit cards for a moment. Honestly, PenFed has some pretty sweet options. What I really like about them is that you can pre-qualify for their cards without any impact to your credit score. But hey, keep in mind that pre-qualifying does not mean an automatic approval. There is still a chance that you could be denied if they decide to move forward with the application. And also, if you decide to move forward, they will pull your Equifax credit score. Now, if you join their credit union and get a hard inquiry from Equifax, I recommend giving them a call. Ask if you can use that hard inquiry for your credit card application. When you quickly browse through all of their credit cards, they do say that they require good to excellent credit, but there has been many case studies showing that people with fair credit, somewhere between the high 500s to the lower 600s, still get approved. People with bankruptcies that have been discharged around 8 to 12 months or more may also get approved for their credit cards. But I think the general rule of thumb is that if you've had a discharge bankruptcy, I would wait at least a year before applying for the products. But again, it really depends on your risk tolerance because there has been data points where people who have discharged less than 6 months and still got approved. I think in this instance, the relationship is what really matters. Now, with all of their credit cards, they do not have an annual fees if you decide to be an Honors Advantage member, which simply means that you're just getting a checkings account like I mentioned earlier. So if you do decide not to get a checkings account, the only card that has an annual fee is a Pathfinder Rewards Visa, which will cost you $95 per year. So might as well just get the free checkings account to avoid this altogether. Alright, so let's talk about the first credit card they have, which is the Platinum Rewards Visa card. So with this card, you get a sweet 15,000 bonus points when you spend $1,500 within the first 90 days. But the thing about PenFed points is that they are valued a little bit differently from most point systems out there. So you can expect to get around 0.85 cents per point. So that bonus will be worth around $127.50. So not too shabby, especially considering that this card does not have an annual fee. Now, where it gets a little interesting is that you get 5x points on gas purchases at the pump and EV charging stations. That is pretty handy if you own an EV and don't have that many card options that offer this perk. Plus, you get 3x points at supermarkets, restaurants, and streaming services. Next up is the Power Cash Rewards Visa card. With this card, when you spend $1,500 within the first 90 days, you will score a 100 bonus statement credit. And the best part, it is pretty straightforward. As a PenFed Honors Advantage member, you'll get 2% cash back on all of your purchases. And if you're not, don't worry, you still earn a solid 1.5% cash back. This card is perfect for those who want a simple cashback credit card without all the fuss of categories. So moving on to the next card will be the Gold Visa credit card. This is their low APR option. So you get a sweet intro offer of 0% intro APR on purchases for the first 15 months. And what's more is that they offer a 0 intro balance transfer APR for the same period. Not many cards out there will give you 0% APR on both. So just a heads up though, is that there will be a 3% fee for balance transfers, but that's pretty standard stuff. Lastly, they have the Pathfinder Rewards Visa card. This is their response to an annual fee travel credit card. It's kind of like a cousin to the Navy Fed flagship card. But what makes this one better is that you potentially won't have to pay an annual fee. Plus, when you spend $3,000 within the first 90 days, you can get a sweet 50,000 bonus points worth around $425. That's not too bad. In addition to that, you get 4x on all travel categories and 1.5% back on everything else. But that's not all. You have 0% intro APR on balance transfers for the first 12 months. Now, that's what I call a pretty awesome travel credit card because I don't think that there are any others out there that offer 0% APR on anything else. So in addition to that, you also get some extra perks. You get a $100 annual domestic air travel statement credit, $100 credit for global entry or TSA pre-check, and priority pass lounge access. Now, here are some pro tips about their credit cards. You can use them similar to a personal line of credit, meaning that if you have a $10,000 credit limit on one of these cards, you can pull out 100% of that limit. Most of the time, credit card issuers will give you anywhere between 20 to 50% of the amount compared to the limit. And on top of that, they do not charge any cash advance fees. Now, this is a little bit different from cash advance interest. The interest rate for cash advances will be similar to your credit card's APR. The cash advance fee is usually charged if you decide to pull the money out. PenFed does not charge this, which is pretty amazing. But also keep in mind is that if you decide to pull out 100% of your credit limit, your credit utilization will be out of whack and it can bring down your credit score. So just be thoughtful about cash advances. Now, let's talk about credit limits for a second. You can have a max combined limit of $50,000 and you can have a max amount of $25,000 per card. So depending on how you slice it, the max credit that they can extend you is $50,000. So once you receive your initial credit limit, if you consider increasing it, I would highly recommend waiting around 6 months. Sometimes they will not even offer it until that period has passed. But here's another thing to keep in mind is that requesting a credit limit increase will result in a hard inquiry on your credit report. However, based on data points, you can typically ask double your current limit with a maximum of $25,000. Alright, so now let's shift gears and dive deep into loans. PenFed, they offer a variety of loans, so think auto loans, mortgages, home equities, line of credit, and regular personal loans. Let's focus on some of the more popular ones that you definitely want to know about. Now, here's a small piece of advice before you jump into applying for a loan. It is better to hold off at least a month after joining PenFed, since building some sort of relationship with them will greatly increase your chances of approval. And trust me, getting denied right off the bat is not what we're aiming for here. But you should always pre-qualify anyways just to see your odds. So now let's just start off with auto loans. These are actually one of my current loans right now because they can possibly get you better rates than Navy Fed and most credit unions out there. The great thing about the product is that you can see if you can get pre-qualified and see how much you can get and your rates before moving forward with the loan. They can even pre-approve you for up to $150,000. And is also one of the few lenders out there that allows you to get up to 125% financing, which means that you can roll all of the taxes and fees into the loan with zero down. They also have a car buying service where they partner up with true car dealers, and if you decide to go that route, you can actually get a better rate on your loan. So you really have to do your due diligence and consider whether or not it is worth it based on that interest rate alone. Now with this type of loan, many have been approved for this without needing any other documentations besides their ID and address verification. They most likely won't even ask for your income, tax returns, or pay stubs. But in the rare instances that they do, just be prepared to provide them when you can. However, even for me and plenty of other people that I know to apply for this loan, no proof of income was required. Also, one more thing that's worth noting is that whenever you apply for PenFed auto loans, they will pull from your Equifax 9 credit scores. Now, PenFed, they offer a bunch of different types of lending, such as mortgages and home loans. So if that's something that you're interested in, just drop a comment and I can make a video about it. But to be honest, I'm not really sure how many of you are actually interested in that topic. So let's shift gears and talk about personal loans. This is gonna be more relevant to a lot more people out there. Now, depending on when you watch this video, interest rates, they can vary. Currently, they are pretty high due to market conditions, but it is a competitive market for sure. You can get terms up to 60 months and loans up to $50,000. And here's the great part. There's no early payoff penalty, no origination fees, and no hidden fees. That is pretty awesome, especially if you need a short-term loan to pay off those high interest credit cards or maybe dip into some cash real estate deals. But listen, whenever you're taking out any type of loan or cash advances, you gotta figure out how you gotta make that money work for you. Don't just get personal loans to buy things that don't make sense. Focus on doing things that actually help you build wealth. Another thing that I really like about PenFed personal loans is that you can check your rate and pre-qualify before diving into the whole application process. You don't even have to be a PenFed member to do this, but if you like the terms and decide to move forward, all you got to do is just become a member and just add $5 into a savings account. Once you accept the terms, you will get the money in 1 to 2 days after verifying your information. Now, here's the kicker. Even if your credit score is in the 600s, you can still get approved for a personal loan with PenFed, just depending on your relationship with them. Of course, having a lower credit score means a higher interest rate, but that is expected. I also recommend building a good relationship with PenFed, meaning that direct deposits and keeping your accounts active. I almost forgot to mention that personal loans will pull from your Experian for approval. So try to work on your Experian credit report to make sure that it is in tip-top shape before you move forward with the application. So I gotta say that PenFed is a pretty awesome credit union. Just keep in mind that it is one of the largest ones out there in the US. But hey, if you can't get into Navy Federal, it's no biggie. There are plenty of other great credit unions just like this one. I just wish that they had a business sector for business lending though, but unfortunately they do not. So if you have ever tried PenFed or already a member, let me know what is your experience in the comments. And if you want to learn more about credit or hang out with me some more, check out these videos over here.